replicate the document over to there. And then someone, when they sign in, would be able to access that document. So it's a really nice, little setup.
Can you tell me what TCC stands for? Knowledge something. Correct.
Knowledge consistency checker.
Thank you.
Guys, I'm gonna go back in sites and services and show you something else. Knowledge consistency checker.
TCC. Knowledge consistency. Check.
Amazing. We don't even describe what the, oh, here it is.
Oh, great.
Generates replication topology for Active Directory force. Basically, it defines replication topology between domain controllers. Which domain controller will replicate to which one? Now, we are overriding that. We're going to define bridgehead servers. Okay, so guys, let's go into back to DC1, back in sites and services. I'm going to go into DC1. I'm going to go down to last servers, highlight DC1, and right click NTDS settings. Guys, what does NT mean? What's that? New technology. So that's all that, back in the old days when they first introduced Active Directory domains, it was called NT4, NT3, NT2. That just stands for new technology. So the name kind of stuck. So NTDS, New Technology Directory Services. It's no longer new. It's from
Wait, how do
the 90s. Okay.
Right click and.
Right click.
Go to Properties.
I?
Then go to Object.
Object.
Okay, we're just looking at this. Guys, the version of database that I have, my version of Active Directory database, is now 13,548. So when two DCs replicate to one another, if your versioning number is lower than mine, I won't accept that replication, but I'll replicate back to you. So that's how they know who to replicate to who based on the versioning numbers. We call that USN, update sequence number. So if you have a later version than mine, I'll accept you. That means I have old data, I'll let you replicate to me. So now we're going to make some bridgehead servers. So I'm going to right click DC1. I'm going to make DC1 a bridgehead server for the parent domain. So I'm going to right click, go to Properties, and I can't remember where this is at. Okay. I'm going to right click DC1, not NTDS settings, and go to Properties. I want this to be a bridgehead server for the IP protocol, not SMTP. Just move it over.
Move to where?
The ID to the bridgehead server.
Do you see, Charlie?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, click OK. And it's saying, wait a second, I don't know, I don't have this data, so this is not going to be the bridgehead for everything. It's just giving you a warning, hey, I have another DC, I need to do it for the other domain as well. This is only going to affect this domain. And I'm going to do it, DC3 is a DC on my child domain. I'm going to make that a bridgehead server. IP. Okay, now if I highlight servers, I can see DC1 is a bridgehead for the parent domain, and DC3 is a bridgehead for the child domain. It does not do any good unless I define bridgeheads on the other side as well. Okay,
We just have a plate.
when we get there. Okay? That's like the services. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. And boot up 5, 6, 7, and 8. And start those machines.
Five, six, seven, eight, and Riley.
And router B, everything else. Guys, some of you already did this. I'm gonna make a new script. We could integrate it later. So, DC 5 will be 8.2. And the gateway will be 8.1. Oh, wait, guys, before we do this, I want to go over one other concept. Before we go into this. During our initial setup, DC1 pointed to what for DNS?
To the outside. Like 13.5.
Okay, DC2 pointed to who?
DC one.
Who did DC3 point to?
DC one.
Why did it point to DC1? It's the first DC in a new domain. Who did DC4 point to?
DC three.
Why did it point to DC3?
Second. Child.
Right. DC1 already knows about the child domain, so I point to DC4. This is the initial setup. Okay, I can't. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go to DC2. So, if I don't know the answer, who do I send my request to? Jose is answering the question I expect you to answer. But doesn't DC1 and DC2 have the same information now?
Yeah.
So why send traffic to DC1 when you're not going to get a better answer? After my setup, DC1 still points to my ISP. DC2 copied the data from DC1. It has the exact same data. It also copied the forwarder. So if DC1 doesn't know the answer, and if DC2 doesn't know the answer, DC1 won't know it either. So DC2 will now point to the ISP as well.
For the other side?
No, I'm still on DC2.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, look on DC2, who are my forwarders now?
ISP.
The ISPs. So after we promoted it, it took this out and put in the ISP that I copied from DC1. So let's look at this. DC3, who did I point to initially? DC1. Still that way. Let's go look at that. So I'm gonna go to DC3.
Zero two, right?
Right. You might have the 03 in there as well. That would work. So I point to DC one. Now, DC four, who did I initially point to?
DC three.
Three. But now I copied all the data off of DC three. So if I don't know the answer,
It's gonna go to DC one.
DC three won't know the answer as well. So again, I copied the forwarders. So all the DCs in the child domain will now point to the DCs in the parent. All the DCs in the parent will point to the ISP. It's a chain of DNS servers.
So we kind of done that since the first time we was doing it, right?
No, the first time we did it, it was kind of a different, to initially set it up, we had to do this. Once it was set up, this is what it changed it to.
Okay, alright.
Guys, let's go back to DC two, I wanna verify we have a delegation. for the child. DC one or two, I don't care. Again, if I make a change to DC one, it's just like I'm sitting on DC two and making a change. When I make a change to one, it's gonna get copied to two. I'm not changing a domain controller, I'm changing the domain. The domain controller is a tool. When I connect to that and make a change, I make a change to the whole domain. So if I make a change to, DC one, any DC in that domain will get that change. So I'm just verifying. I do in fact have a delegation. Guys, you know what I could do? I could go into properties and add the second DC. Because now I have two DCs in DC, I have two DNS servers for the child domain. If I wanted to,
DC4.
I could do CS01, DC4.child, .contoso.com. Guys, this resolve button will now work, because those DNS servers are working.
How did you get there?
I right click,
What?
child, go to properties, then I click add.
Child property.
Then click add, and type in CS01 DC4.child.contoso.com. Click resolve, click OK, click OK.
CS.
Why am I not, this is DNS, right? Am I clicking on child?
Yes.
I'm not
Maybe I
getting
have to
copy.
click on it first. Yeah.
I didn't. Alright.
Trying to refresh. It's glitchy.
Can you go back, please?
Who doesn't have properties?
I didn't have a property. What I did, I just clicked on it, and then we open another page, and I right click to the page.
Click on what?
It says same as parent folder.
Okay, like right here, right?
Yeah,
Okay, can you right click here and go properties?
yeah, I did. I right click on it.
Do you have that?
Yeah,
Okay, good, add that. Okay, those people that don't have, properties, what happens when you right click here? Okay, do you want me to look sorrowful or shrug my sword? I don't, it's glitchy. Close it out, come back in 10 minutes, it'll be there. Reboot maybe, I don't know. The DNS utility has always been flaky.
can you go back?
There's nothing to go back to.
Okay, CS11, 01, DC1.
You're adding this. You're gonna type this name, but you're gonna do your station number.
Oh, I am basically 4.
So add DC4, DC3 should already be there. I'm gonna look at someone's,
So the whole machine? The whole machine. Okay.
look,
Mr. DC one, then.
yes.
You're not getting a copy?
Okay, guys, how many people see child as not being grayed out?
I didn't see it grayed out.
I didn't see.
Okay, if it's not grayed out, delete it. Cause remember, I told you, it's not doing the delegation properly, that's what happened. So delete it, I'm gonna watch you something wrong. Then highlight Contoso.com. Right click, say new delegation. Click next, and type in child, all lowercase. Click next. Click add. Then type in, your two DCs for your child domain, like you see up on my screen. CS. CS. Hyphen DC3. Dot child dot Contoso.com. Then click resolve. See if that-
No, it's not. Yes, no, we said that it's deleted. Yes, alright.
Okay, so in the box where it says IP address, click where it says IP address, and type in 172.16.0.4.
Okay.
Click, okay. Then click add again. Type CS, whatever, hyphen DC4.
New.
Dot child dot Contoso .com. Now resolve should work. Maybe not. Okay, just click OK. Just type in 172.16.0.5. 0.5. Okay. That's done. We're good. Click OK. And next. Finish. Okay. Do me a favor. Open up the command prompt. Or DC, yeah, or you're at DC1.
Let me resolve.
And type nslookup space child.contoso.com.
I don't get
Child.contoso.com.
Child, right, refresh. There you go, right, no, right, properties. There you go.
I did.
And what do we say?
Yeah, that's okay, that works.
Yes.
Yeah. You have DC3 up and running?
What? Use names. Yeah.
Five is four.
Fine. I got that.
Yes.
I'm just checking my station number. 2, 16, 0,
There it is.
4. There it is. So, that's first okay. Okay. It's that age. Okay.
Guys, you might need to do an IP config, are you having a baby?
No, that's not me.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Ryan, is it okay if it just says CSO for DC4 and it doesn't say child.contoso.com?
No,
Got it.
it's not okay.
Properties.
You might need to do this command on a command prompt. sorry, Danielle, I know it's nerve wracking, someone taking over your computer and staring at you, and trying to type, you get that. Oh,
Everybody has to do it.
that's gonna be easy. I'll just press cancel.
Child.
Delete that first. Delete that. Cause that's not. Now highlight. Control sign. Then do the delegation. Okay, listen, guys. His question is, when he goes here,
Get that.
when he goes here and he goes and sees servers, he doesn't see all 4 servers.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You need to go out for a smoke. Replication hasn't occurred. Listen, replication could have a hard time occurring if you can't resolve names. So make sure your delegation is fixed. Guys, I had to realize that I didn't know that it was doing delegations that bad. If it's not grayed out, it's not a delegation. Okay, so, go into DNS on the child, make sure the DNS is working, looks right, and make sure your delegation looks like that. It might not replicate, because if it can't resolve names of the servers, it won't be able to connect. Remember, I point upstream, right? These 2 point upstream. But guys, for child, I need